Welcome back to the Tim and Steve Show. I am Tim Beard.
I'm Steve Morris.
How are you?
Pretty good. You?
Not bad. It's a beautiful Monday morning out there. It was a little chillier than I thought it was going to be, but I can't complain, I guess.
Yeah, we finally got spring after we had those few 90 days. And now
We had summer, now we're back to spring.
50 to 70, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah, got the sweatshirt on today.
Yeah,
It's
a little
different.
chilly up here, but
It's a little, yeah, it's funny, isn't it? How was your weekend?
it's good. I was out there working all weekend.
I see you got more fence done.
Yeah, I just
Almost,
really
yeah.
I gotta set 2 posts and then build the gate.
Yeah, looks good. Really good.
Thank you.
Stopped yesterday, get the tractor, and it was like, hey, almost got it done.
Yeah, I got the bed prepared, the larger bed, so I'm gonna graph that out, and then I'll have everything planted tomorrow and Wednesday, according to the moon planting guide.
Nice.
For above the ground fruiting. I don't know, they say something about the moisture with the waxing or waning of the moon. I couldn't tell you what it is right now, but by the date I can tell you that I got to plant tomorrow and Wednesday.
You're speaking a foreign language to me, so you could tell me anything. I'd be like, yeah, all
I'm
right,
going to
cool.
try it out. That's how they used to do it allegedly in the past. So
Yeah, a lot of things are based
and that's
off
how I
that.
did it last. Well, last year I did the frost date. This year I'm going to do the moon date. I did like a combo of the moon and frost last year. This year I'm going to do the moon.
Nice,
See if it does any. See if I notice any differences.
nice.
Production.
I spent pretty much all weekend moving dirt. I'm getting there, but it's a long process. I'm just like, oh. Alarm went off this morning. I was like, oh, okay, time to go. And, yeah, just,
You doing it with the excavator?
yeah, so I got the loader, but the loader I bought back this winter kind of got screwed over on. I bought an old loader because, older equipment tends to hold up well and stuff, and the tranny's junk, so it doesn't have any reverse. And it didn't have brakes, but ironically now it goes forward and has brakes, but has no reverse. So I have to plan everything out to make sure I can turn, but it's working. It's, so instead of losing out, on $8,500 what I paid for it, which should have been a good deal. And I got to get a tranny at some point for it, but the thing's huge. It's like an 800-pound transmission, and I don't have time I'd have to go to South Carolina. They have a rebuilt one down there. This company just sells them. So at some point, because it's a nice piece of equipment, but just sucks it doesn't have any reverse in it. And we put a little camera up in there when I drain the fluid out of it because it was all foamy, which means usually it's sucking air somehow. I could see like little ball bearings in the bottom, so I kind of was like, I wasn't going to try it because it's $200. It's a 5-gallon bucket of hydraulic fluid is $100, and it takes 2 of them. So I was like, yeah, screw it. I did it. I dumped $200 into it. And then I put some of that like Lucas tranny slip stuff in it, thinking maybe that would help, which it didn't seem to make a difference. But it goes forward. It works. So I'll just do what I got to do to make it work for now. And then on Saturday, so Andrea went away this weekend with my sister-in-law. They went up to Lincoln, and it was pretty cool. She was sending me pictures yesterday. Went to Clark's Trading Post, and Adelina and Kennedy, they see the bears and stuff. That was cool. But brought the kids to mini golf over to Claremont on Saturday night, and the Epic food truck was over there. Have you been eating from them?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They were just, so Time Out does food, and then and Nick, who owns it, has Escape Factory, which we've done, the escape rooms, and then the mini golf, which we've also done. And so, hey, let's go do that. But they're doing, Epic food truck was there. I guess he's doing like I don't know if it's once a month or whatever, food truck night. And kids got their smash burgers. Not smash burgers like your wife talks about, but like they're just good cheeseburgers. But I got a pulled pork Sammy, which was just like a pulled pork with like coleslaw and stuff on it. And it was really good. Yeah, it was good. And then we did mini golf, and I won again.
Nice.
It was hard though, because there was 7 of us, so we kind of broke up, and so sent Adriano, Danielle, and Devin ahead of us, and it was me, my little nephew Owen. Well, he's not so little anymore; he's 10. But Lydia, who's not in a cast anymore, she's got a boot, so she kind of hobble around. And my Uncle Billy, and I got a hole in one on one, and then I actually got a hole in one in the last hole, that shoots the can. Yeah, it was. I was pretty impressed. I was like, and so Amelia didn't go with us. I don't remember what he was doing, but I have to bring him because he's the one that always brags about how good he is at everything he does. And so I was like, all right, let's go play mini golf. And so far I've won every time I've gone there, which, I mean, it's not saying much necessarily. It's just mini golf, but it was fun. It was a good time. And then yesterday morning, I felt bad too because so I went to Dunkin' Donuts and there was a long line and I had my old truck and I'm like, I don't want to sit here in line for a while, you know. So I went to go in and the door was locked. And I was like, wow, what the heck? So I know the person that runs Dunkin' and she came over real quick and just unlocked it. And she says, just because it's you. And I knew, you know, because Andrew goes there all the time. So I go in. Well, then somehow like a couple of people snuck in behind us. Dude, there was two people working. It was her, who was the manager, and Joe. That was it. Everybody else called out. So I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, what is wrong with this world we live in now? Like, nobody wants to work and then just calls out of work. And I felt so bad for them. Like, two people running that whole thing. And maybe that'd be fine if it was just like a smaller drive-through. No, it's like, it's crazy. Just like crazy. It's just, so if you're out there and you need a job, Dunkin' Donuts is hiring, and they would love to have anyone that would actually show up to work. So
I feel like almost everywhere I go, I see help wanted, help needed signs.
everywhere, and then you just keep more and more money, but it's just crazy. I don't know. It's sorry.
Yeah, you're busy today.
Yeah. Yeah, when Andrew's not around, she's coming back today, but try to, get kids to school that are supposed to go to school, and
You're managing all kinds of things.
yeah, they don't get up like they're supposed to. Seems like a daily thing.
It is a daily thing.
Hey, you're almost done though.
Yeah, Zeta will be gone here in a few months.
Yeah, so went to baccalaureate last night, and it was pretty good. It was only like 20 students who went, but it was a nice little service, and it was good. So I have some pictures and a little video of that, and we'll throw that up so that people can see that too. And then I know John Lund was there with NCTV, so if you want to watch the whole thing, you can get that online. It was pretty cool. First chance to see the kids in their cap and gowns, and tonight we have class night, which will be, I think it's at the Opera House, and that'll be good. So you have kids getting scholarships and whatever else. It's been a long time since I've been, so trying to remember this. And then it's been all messed up because Adrian and Devin graduated last year, but because of COVID, we couldn't go to baccalaureate, couldn't go to any of this stuff until it was actual graduation. And luckily, I kind of feel like hopefully we're back to normal and it'll stay there.
Yeah, until they try to scare those who are easily scared.
That was one thing I was pretty disappointed with last night. This one of the pastors wearing a mask, and of course took it off to speak, and then goes outside at the end of everything where everybody's outside and he's not wearing a mask. And I'm like, dude, you're a man of faith, but you're wearing a mask, scared to death. Like, apparently your faith isn't very good. How can I follow someone that apparently has no faith? You know what I'm saying? Just
I can't explain it at this point.
I don't know, man.
2 years, we've seen the devastation it's caused throughout all of society, and people are still thinking that mask is helping them. But whatever, to each their own.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm not gonna.
I was most impressed last night though with last name is Scott, so I'll say Mr. Scott, but it's the pastor at the Greek Orthodox Church, and stood up and he gave a great not really a sermon, more of a speech, because there was like 6 of them, so they all had like little parts, different ones from from town, and or part of the group of them, because one was from Charlestown, whatever, one was from Croydon, and I was really impressed with him because he's talking about COVID, and he's like, people come to him and, what are we going to do? And I'm just going to keep doing what we're going to do. We're going to stay open. And of course that was against the, oh, no, you shouldn't do that. And he's like, here we are, and we're all healthy. We're all alive. I was good. Someone
My
spoke
question
up.
to anybody who, I don't know, is how do you keep liquor stores open but try to close down churches? How do you keep Walmart open but close down all other stores?
It's a good question, isn't it? You won't.
No, I mean, it's more of a facetious question, more to make you think. But why do you shut down houses of worship, but yet leave liquor stores open?
Right.
I guess people are supposed to be. What did it say on that? Don't be ashamed. Feel empowered.
Yeah.
Feel
Yeah.
empowered that you want to drink, but you can't really go to work for the next 6 weeks. We're going to give you a little bit of money from the people who pay their taxes, and even then, it's not even taxpayer dollars because they were just writing trillions of dollars of bills with no money and to back it up, no actual hard gold back or anything else like that. They just printed money, gave it to people.
Yeah. We still do that apparently.
Yeah, Maine and was it Nevada or a couple of states are still paying people not to go to work.
I don't even get it. I did see something that I don't know if we even talked. I can't remember if we talked about last week, but Elon Musk is basically saying that if you work for Tesla, they'll come back to work or don't come back at all because he's all done playing the game. And I have some more later on the show with him, but trying to mix it up, I guess. So looking for stories.
Yeah. But I mean, it's an appropriate question to ask.
Oh no, definitely.
There's an election coming up, and I'm sure there'll be some type of medical emergency to keep us all scared.
The election infection.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. Did you hear that somewhere, or did you just come up with it?
No, I've heard it before. Yeah, it's interesting. So one little last piece of bad local news, I guess, and then we'll go into some good stuff, and then we'll go into some other stuff. But some, I won't say the word I wrote, but some piece of crap stole garbage. Stole the American flag off of Justin Rollins' Memorial Bridge, which I saw this on Friday, and then I meant to mention it, and then I kind of forgot to mention it because I see things and sometimes I forget about it, like, oh, I should have done that. But anyways, I know they've taken care of it. Like, I don't know if there's already a new one there and they're going to put something there so you can't take it, but that just pisses me off because so Justin I went to school with, obviously died in Iraq, serving his country, and then someone takes a flag, and my guess it was some kid that I don't know. I can't even say like doesn't know better because you do know better. And then what did you do with the flag? Can only imagine what happened to the flag. It was probably thrown somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. I just it's one of those things that really gets me and really pisses me off. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a sad state of affairs. You'd like to think, oh, somebody needed a flag for their house, but I doubt that's why they stole it. I'm sure it was just to be mean.
It was just to be a jerk off, Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so Saturday, softball, semifinals, or excuse me, quarterfinals. I went to the game, and it was a good game. It was a really good game. They won 5-3. Yeah, so now they go Tuesday nights, tomorrow night at 7 at Plymouth State. They're going to face the top-seeded prospect, Mountain. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a big challenge for these girls because, that's the number one seed. We are the 5th seed, but Messinic had knocked off Monadnock, which was a 4 seed, earlier in the week. And so we were excited, obviously, that, hey, we're going to face Messinic at home because we've already beat them once this year, and Monadnock we had lost to. So the girls played good. It was a really close game. Lexi Durgan hit a home run.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the first girl that pitched was pretty fast, and she swung, and the girl ran and missed it, and luckily it's got like a soft fence or whatever, went over the fence and stuff, and it was a very close game. It was kind of it's like, ooh, how's this going to go? But they did really well, and yeah, now they're going to be in semifinals. So
they won 5-3.
They won 5-3. Yep, it was almost like every inning we got one run. We can never get really a run, a good round going exactly. But little by little, and then the other girls are catching up too, and it was like, oh boy, but they pulled it off. So we'll see. Super proud. All these girls, all these local young ladies that
the softball team works hard.
They do. They work very hard. Sam's a really good coach. I think he's hard on them at times, but he cares. He does. I talked to him actually before the game. I saw him at the gas station, and He very much cares, and he one of the last games he kind of went off one of the girls, and she was upset, obviously. And then the difference I notice now than from when like Alicia and Zeta played like 4 years ago is like right after the innings, like he apologized. He just got kind of got in the heat of the moment, like I'm sorry, but and so that was good. Like I've seen that change in him too. So because it's tough, especially with the girls. Like you're coaching and you have to be hard on them, but not too hard because sometimes girls take it more personal than boys do, and it's a fine line. But I mean, he's been coaching for
take
years.
A lot of things personal, so
yeah. But he's been coaching for years, and hey, they're in the semifinals now. This has been a good season. So if you're around, so it's going to be at Plymouth State University. So it's no more home field advantage for anybody. And 7 o'clock, so it'll be under the lights. And come out and cheer the girls on if you're available. The more people, the better. Because
have they played any games under the lights this year?
Yeah, they played Claremont under the lights, that doubleheader.
That's right.
Friday.
They lost that game.
They did. They lost both those games. They got a little. There's like a little. I looked at the record over the weekend, and I'm like, there's this little spot where they lost a few games in a row, and then they picked it right back up, and which typically happens, but better than the Red Sox. They're over 500 now, but they've been a rough year. So, and then congratulations to Maddox Lovely and Kyle Ashley, who have qualified to represent Newport High School at the 75th annual New England Outdoor Track and Field Championships that are going to be held at Willow Park in New Britain, Connecticut, this Saturday, the 11th. So shout out to those guys.
That's awesome.
That's huge. That's awesome. Yeah, that's an awesome thing. So really, congratulations to those two for working really hard and excelling.
Lovely.
Coach Lovely. Obviously, Maddox is his daughter, and a lot of good track and field in that family. A lot of good athletes in that family in general. But congratulations to those two, especially for doing well. And I think Taylor Fellows was also in this last weekend's races. And but yeah, so for these two to qualify to go to New England Regional, the outdoor is huge championship.
That's awesome.
That's
good
awesome.
Things.
That is awesome. This is something else I meant to mention on Friday. I didn't. It's a little past, but it is what it is. So Saturday was free fishing day in New Hampshire. It's weird because it used to be. Well, no, I guess it wasn't. I was gonna say we used to think it was Father's Day weekend, but I guess that was Father's Day weekend. They used to do like a free. New Hampshire could go to like New Hampshire places like the Flume and Cannon Mountain and stuff for free if you're a resident. So, but I did see a lot of people out fishing on Saturday though. Didn't see any game wardens because no need to check for licenses when it's free fishing day. But yeah, it was a great weekend for it at least. So next Monday is Car Nuts again, 6 o'clock. So the 13th. I got a wireless mic this time and see if I can get the girls to go do some interviews again and see if they've improved over the last month.
Well, that and see if anybody will talk to them. A lot of people don't want to.
No one wants to talk
on camera.
I know. It's like everyone's scared. Like, oh, I don't want to talk. Like, it's all right. No one watches the show anyways.
Who are you hiding from?
Yes. Like, you don't have a warrant, right? It's all good. And then on the, where's the date? It was the 18th. Now, I took this right off the thing, but I didn't take the stupid date. But the 8th annual Nano Brew Fest is, I think it said the 18th. Let's see, Monday, and it's the 18th. So June 18th. And, yeah, see, this is what happens when I do this. But anyways, during the Brew Fest, we have a donkey drop bingo. You ever seen that before?
Uh-uh.
They set up these squares on the common. You buy a ticket. And I won this one year during the fall during a football game. I won $1,000.
Saturday, June 18th.
Saturday, June 18th. Yes. So you buy squares, and then wherever the donkey poops, if it poops in your square, you get to win the money. So I did this for the football. Does that? Last year they did.
They dropped the football.
Last year they did the golden football, but let's face it, animals pooping on a square is way more fun. And I actually won that one year, $1,000. I was like, so during Brewfest, they're doing this on the Common, and then Library at Center is hosting the Newport Heritage mural festival, which is the same day. So the murals they have on the side of the building that the gym is in, and also Cronus's. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's mostly our local stuff. And think anything else local we got going on?
No,
Graduations on Wednesday.
6 p.m.
Worried about the weather now because it kind of changed, but now they're saying like showers in the morning. So hopefully it works out so we can all be outside because I hate when it's at the Opera House. 5 people can go, that's it. And, it takes away from the whole thing. So hopefully it will.
Yeah, we got family coming in.
Yeah, hopefully the weather does what it needs to do and stays away. Let us get through the graduation, and it can rain at night when everyone's sleeping. No one cares, right? Class night tonight, we already talked about that. Yeah, last day of school is the 14th, so next week. It's coming quick.
Yeah, we have kids running around town.
Yeah, Chief's job will get more interesting. So I try and talk more about some positive stuff because I go through all these negative stories. Well, it's not that I'm looking for negative stories; it just kind of comes up.
It's kind of just the way the country is right now.
Yeah, and it's depressing. And I will, as I promised, though. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I will give you the list of, the Republican hypocrisy and
not really doing anything.
Yeah, so I will do that though, because like I said, I'll be fair on both sides on that. So we won't completely get away from all of negative news from the outside, because if we do that, it'd be a pretty short show. But I just have a few highlight things we can talk about today. But it's depressing to just look through the news, and I don't know, the common theme seems to be drag queen stuff with elementary school kids, shooting stuff, which no one ever seemed to care about. Chicago, how many people have got killed over the weekend there
for the last however many
for years, and it doesn't matter, and it doesn't make headlines, so no one cares. It's yeah, whatever. So between that and then just the stupid stuff the government does, Biden just said that none of the Second Amendment, just like any of the amendments, are not absolute, which
they are.
Yes, they are. They're absolute.
Rights are rights.
Exactly.
Now, privileges are something different.
Yeah.
But rights are rights, unless you want to hold a convention.
Right.
And pass an amendment with...
I don't see them doing that, because they don't want the people's opinions. They just want bureaucrats to keep,
The unelected.
The unelected.
That they put in there. It goes back to nepotism.
It does. It's crazy. So... one story I did find, it's a negative story, but I thought it was interesting, and there should be some serious investigation into this, which there is. But 7.5 gallons of fentanyl has disappeared from the Cheshire Medical Center's intensive care unit.
And that's in Keene.
7.5 gallons. And I do the math.
Not enough to kill us all?
I would think so, because
no, that's enough to probably take down a few states.
Yeah. So, so the preliminary agreement not so they basically, what happened is they lost some people, stolen fentanyl, prompts license suspension, and basically it says the chief nursing officer and 2 other personnel after gallons of fentanyl solution went missing from the Keene Hospital, according to the New Hampshire Office of Professional Licensure and certification. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's scary. So it's negative in the sense of, it goes back to what we've been talking about. You shouldn't be doing any types of drugs, much less those that could be laced with fentanyl, because fentanyl can easily kill you.
How does that, I just don't understand how much that can go missing. Because, for instance, obviously,
I mean, they track pills.
They track everything. They
have
scan
to sign for it. Yeah.
They scan your bracelet before they give you the medicine. If you're on any sort of opioid kind of thing, it's in a locked box, even if it's an IV going into the person. How does this just happen? So I don't know.
It doesn't.
Yeah, there's,
Obviously, there was a robbery of some kind, whether it was
wow, yeah. But it's interesting. They're
or they misplaced it. So maybe they just are incompetent and misplaced it. But odds are that it was stolen.
7.5 gallons, though.
That's a
That's a 5 gallon bucket and a half. That has to be some serious money, too.
money and death.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's, and they won't have they won't have any pictures of anyone doing it because everyone still has to wear masks in hospitals because. So, I was so worried about that. They've just let all this stuff out that could have contributed to how many overdoses. Yeah, I saw that story. I was like, well, here's a local story. We're always looking for local stories, New Hampshire stories. And I'm like, it's not necessarily a positive story, but.
No, but it's another to warn. Don't.
Yeah, like crazy.
Feel empowered. Don't use.
Yeah, don't use.
That's a callback to the New York.
Oh, I know.
Billboard.
If you don't watch the show every day and don't see that, you wouldn't know. Here's something interesting, though. Another local thing. I called out the person that shared this, and then their response actually was decent, so I liked it and said, okay. But basically, Forbes is ranked New Hampshire as 4th best for schools, which I was initially like, really? Because the state overall is like a 50% passing in the whole state. So only 50% on average passes the state test. So how could we possibly be 4th? But this takes into account like quality of like life here and safety and all those things, which
is what a lot like when people bring up our rankings, they also say, well, it's not really the whole story, which understand that it's not the whole story, but we can do better at our community level. Is my personal take on it.
Let me read this though, because this is something interesting that I will keep in mind for future things. This is like the rest of the Northeast. New Hampshire suffers from high labor and energy costs. That doesn't sound good for electric cars, does it? Told you how my light bill was $560 something over 1 month. One advantage to the state over its neighbors is, however, is the corporate tax front. With Moody's Analytics figures places New Hampshire 23% below the national average. The Granite State also has the lowest poverty rate in the U.S. I've heard a lot of social economic impact, yet we have the lowest poverty rate in the U.S. It's interesting. And it's
our town's probably the outside outlier.
Wow.
The stats.
Yes, our town, I'm sure, is, yeah. I give you that. But I just thought that was interesting when I first heard that. I'm like, wait a minute. So there's 49 other states out there worse off than us. If we want to use this as an excuse, yeah. And then unemployment rate averages 3.7 over the last 5 years and 6th best in the country, which, listen, I don't care where you are in this country. You can get a job anywhere in a heartbeat because everybody's looking for work because I don't know where these people went. I don't.
That's the mindset, Tim. I mean, they were told to be afraid of everybody, and some people, they still, even if they're not wearing a mask, are still scared that they may have a less than 1% or 1% chance of dying if they get COVID. Whatever I can't remember. I'm not a doctor.
It's less than 1%.
Yeah.
Even for people in their 80s, it's less than 1%.
Well, no, I think it's a little bit higher, isn't it? Like 5% or above 60 or something. But anyway, I mean, it's...
Yeah, the overall death rate's less than 1%.
I'd be more scared of fentanyl.
Yeah, that just slipped through the cracks.
Yeah.
So,
not scared, but concerned.
Concerned. Yeah. So, I saw this, what's a meme, but it's really a retweet. So, because over the weekend there was a shooting in Philly at a nightclub, and there was another shooting in Tennessee. And this DA, Larry Grasner, the terrible crime last night on South Street tell our Pennsylvania legislators it's time to take real action, boycott NRA lobbyists, boycott NRA donations, and bring common sense gun regulation to Pennsylvania now. And then this person, I don't know who he is, but Ryan Fontier, Philly is a war zone because you refuse to prosecute violent crimes and release them back to the streets to reoffend. Stop blaming law-abiding NRA members for your dereliction of duty, which is so true. I know people that live in Philly, and last year was like the highest murder that they've ever had in Philadelphia, and like they blamed that obviously on like their mayor and all these people. And so, first of all, this DA is a Soros plant who basically you commit crimes and he just puts you right back on the street. So this is another bunch of Democrats that are saying, "Oh, hey, we need to do all this," but they're literally the reason this is happening.
Yeah, it's
like I'm so done with this crap, man. I'm so done.
It's sad because people don't realize, at least from my point of view, the way I see things, just like that guy said, you're ineffective when you don't hold people to account.
Yeah.
I get it. You want to do some reforms and not arrest everybody for every penny-ass little crime that they do. Okay. But at a certain point, if you've been picked up 3 or 4 times and they're escalating, perhaps like there should be some judgment to that.
Think about it, Steve. So you have crime is going up or whatever. But then when you contribute that to, well, maybe it's because you keep letting them go and you're not holding them accountable. But, oh, wait, crime's so bad. We got to take your guns and we need to do this, this, and this. Well, everywhere you look around this country right now, they're making rules or laws to lessen penalties for everything they do.
Right.
Yet the same people stand there and say, "Oh my God, there's so much happening. We need to do something." I know what we need to do. We need to fire every single one of you.
You created the problem. Now you're going to give us a solution.
Right.
Like
and let's face it, you have no
tactic.
Solutions.
No, the solution is to disarm us all, so then we have to rely on the government to protect and provide for us.
Right. That works so well. They're protecting us so well now, aren't they?
The government is not your nanny.
Or your baby daddy.
Be responsible for yourself.
Yeah.
And if you come on hard times, then we're fortunate enough in this country that there are programs that will help you. But that's not for you to rely on.
No, it's not supposed to be.
To help you pull yourself up and get back into it. And yes, I'm sure there's flaws in all those programs. You can find flaws in anything that a bureaucrat runs, that the government runs. There's all kinds of flaws, on whichever lens you want to look through it. Just do the right thing, provide for yourself and your family if you have one, and leave everybody else alone. Go about your business. It's very simple.
It is.
Don't worry about what I do in my house unless, if I got a drug lab, then eventually I'm going to get found. But you know what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
Leave me alone. I'll leave you alone on the most part. But now if you're going to take kids to a strip club in Dallas, Texas, there's some weirdness going on. And there'll be people say that there's weirdness going on with people who call themselves patriots or love their country. I'm sure that, there's always extremes on all sides, but most of us are in the middle and are common sense led. However, if you rely on reading the newspaper and watching the news, they're bombarding you constantly by trying to take away your rights, by telling you that you don't really deserve those rights, that those aren't really rights, that we can take those away. No, you can't.
Right, and that's why we stopped teaching this in school, so kids aren't smart enough to realize, wait a minute.
To stand up for themselves and
they don't
question
stand up for
authority.
Themselves. They don't question anything. And now we've taken away even more, like Chief was talking about, that they're taking away more tools that we have to enforce bad behavior. Basically now if you're a kid and, you're under 18, it's like, it's free game. Like, we don't want you to have a record, and literally, we're creating these issues.
Yeah, we're creating
and then
them
blaming everybody else for them.
And then we're going to blame everybody, but it's your own policies. Like, if you can't see that, then you're not asking yourself the right questions. And maybe I'm not asking myself the right questions, but I can tell you this much. If you think that taking away guns from law-abiding citizens is going to help this country,
you're delusional.
Prevent this stuff. Yeah, this is created by our own doing. And when I say our, I mean our governments and those that we have entrusted.
Well, think about it. We have all these laws, drug laws, and we have for a long, long, long time. And now you have New York City basically saying that don't be ashamed that you're on drugs and basically practice safely and basically telling you how to do drugs.
Teaching you how to do it.
Yes. Yet, wait, that's a crime. That's illegal. Drugs are illegal. So, wait. law-abiding citizens are punished and criminals don't follow laws. So, and now you have people in Congress that are like, oh, well, I don't care about your rights and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? Then you can get the hell out because
If you don't care
your
about
rights are
our
absolute.
rights, I go back to what I said the other day. If you don't like the Constitution that this country's founded on,
Peace out, Cub Scout.
yeah, go find somewhere else. Do what our ancestors did and go find yourself a piece of property and claim it for yourself, defend it, and make up your own rules and have your own society that without trying to fundamentally change what this country has been about since 1776.
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous. This will bring me to, I'll just do the meme of the day now because this fits. Your first mistake was to assume I'd be one of the sheep. So I love that. That's a nice meme right there. And then, so Musk it's so funny. Elon Musk is like in the news like every day, constantly, which is probably a distraction from something else. But so yeah, sets Twitter ablaze by asking curious questions about Jeffrey Epstein.
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine Maxwell. I don't know why I can't read today. The media and the DOJ. So, another article is kind of like, oh, you better be careful because, you're asking, things that you shouldn't be asking, right? And I think it's funny. I'm like, this woman just got sentenced to 65 years in prison for sex trafficking, but she didn't traffic to anybody, apparently.
Yeah, there's no client list.
Just traffic.
Nobody's being held to account for
traffic to herself.
utilizing her services.
And then the media, obviously, there's no accountability there. They just push.
Well, one lady, was it ABC News, said that she had the story done up 3 or 4. I mean, now it's been like 5 years ago she would have had the story, but there's recording of her being like, I had Epstein, I had all this, and they squashed the story.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me because the DOJ is corrupt, the FBI is corrupt, and
Well, this was like ABC News, so they're corrupt.
they're corrupt as well.
Or, whoever's in charge. Sure, it's not all. I mean, people
No.
got to realize that when we talk, we're not saying every single person.
Well, I saw a story over the weekend of the shooting in Texas. One of the mothers was threatened that apparently at some point in her life she was on probation, and she was threatened that she better not speak to the media, that they would like violate her probation. So she talked to a judge, and she's like, "You're not even on probation anymore. There's not anything they could do." But basically, because parents were they were more concerned about stopping parents from going in that school than they were of actually stopping the
That's what it
shooting.
appears to be.
And then I saw that the Democrats in Congress want to open an investigation because apparently they want to know why a Border Patrol agent went in and
solve the problem.
solved the problem, shot the suspect. And so that makes me speculate too, like, I wonder why the government's so worried about why a Border Patrol agent.
Well, maybe they're
ended
wondering, well, they should be wondering is why did he have to, if the story is true as it's been reported, why did he have to leave a haircut, get his barber's shotgun, roll out, and he got there and, and is it because he's assigned to the task force and they're leaving that out of the story? There's a lot of questions still to remain, but at the end of the day, why did it take them getting there? Are they asking why they actually entered, or are they asking why did it take them to go in there and solve this problem?
Yeah, it kind of seemed like they want to know what involvement he played because, in the local police or whatever should have, been there.
They should have handled it.
It's funny too because U.S. Marshals were there like really soon too. And you wouldn't think U.S. Marshals would be right in Texas in that area, right? Like, because it's 80 miles outside of San Antonio. I don't know. There's a lot
of questions.
A lot of questions that you'll never get answers to, I'm sure. But I have these are just headline kind of things, but I have a funny story of the day. So, man crashes his car head first into a delivery truck because he was receiving oral sex while driving in Florida. Get it? Head on.
Was that the...
Hit a FedEx truck. What?
That was the byline, or not the byline, but the headline.
Yeah, that's the headline. I could get into the story, but I don't think anyone
No.
cares about it. I just thought the headline was funny, and I was like, "Oh, distracted driving." Yep, that was funny. And then there's this other story. Now I got to find it though. Mass exodus of from blue states to red states, which you can never imagine this one, but for instance, so the state that gained the most people was Florida. That horrible state in Florida.
The one that had most of the freedoms the entire time during the.
Yeah. The Sunshine State gained $41.1 billion in adjusted gross income. Yeah. And then, whatever, taxable income, no one cares about that. But Texas also gained, but somewhere here we go. New York lost 250,000 people.
And then they started passing laws when they realized that nobody wanted to be the people who could afford or, for whatever reason left, and they tried to keep taxing them after they left the state.
So
It's weird.
This year's the whole headline. This is what you should. You think these morons would realize that just this story alone should tell you where people feel about the things that are happening in this country, but it won't be because they're just
it
stupid.
gives hope, right? Because it means that we're not
And
in the
hope to us.
minority with most of our
Right.
some of our takes. I mean, and you and I don't even agree on everything.
No.
But you know what I mean? It gives you hope that most of the people are in the middle somewhere and don't like one extreme or the other. They like to kind of just be left alone and not told what to do too much.
Exactly. So Democrat-controlled states suffered a mass exodus of residents and taxable income. New York lost a whopping $19.5 billion in net income in 2020 after 250,000 people fled the state. California took a licking as 263,000 residents flocked to other states, which can only imagine why. So it's funny because basically, if you look at California, that's exactly what our federal government wants is California. Yet, fellow California, all those places, cities, are absolute freaking crap hole, drug infested. Literally. And people are leaving there, but that's what they want for your country. So you should look at California.
People literally they do it in every city, I guess, but
Yeah, but
I hear more about it in San Francisco and
so
LA.
263,000 people left that state, which is a loss of $17.8 billion. Illinois suffered a decrease of $8.5 billion.
I don't know why anybody would ever want to live in Illinois.
No. Mass lost $2.6 billion, and New Jersey $2.3 billion. But places like Texas and Florida gained.
That should also tell you.
Yeah, so Florida attracted
You can
624,000
extrapolate
people.
and pontificate on all kinds of things that data means, but apparently some politicians, I guess, think it means we need to relax, crimes even more, or
Right.
laws.
We don't want the criminals to move out.
They won't leave if we make it to where nothing's a crime anymore, and we try to punish them, and they've never done anything wrong.
Let's think about this, Steve.
Like I did, it's just
It just blows my mind. Defund police, 100% Democrat, nothing Republican about that, or right, whatever, 100%. Basically every city in the country that has high crime, high everything, horrible, bad, is Democrat controlled.
for the most part, I think
There's a few that are. There's a few like
red or whatever you call it. There's like 2 or 3 on the top 20.
Yeah. Now we're passing all these laws to lessen crimes, and they want your guns. So they don't want police. They don't want you to have guns. They don't want criminals to go to jail or pay for anything. Yet we're the crazy ones, and we're the ones that
Now, if people are honest with themselves and just look and take a step back and ask questions.
How can you get behind any of that? How could you say, yeah, man, I would love to live in a place where I have to worry about getting shot, but the criminals that do the crime we're going to let them out, and the law-abiding citizens will know we're going to take their guns, we're going to take more of their tax dollars.
Hey, maybe they have a solution lined up, just like you can take a pill and it'll send a good boy check mark to your overlords that are tracking your medicine. Maybe they can give you a pill that'll make you docile, and there won't be a need for guns because they'll get rid of all the criminals because they can fix it with a pill. They can give you some mRNA that'll get rid of that streak in you that they think is the reason why that you're committing crimes. I mean, it's not that far-fetched. I know it's a slippery slope, and it almost sounds conspiratorial, but they're literally saying, we can give you a pill, and you'll comply because now we'll know if you're complying or not. So it'll make you comply. Like, you're not making me do anything. Like, that's a fundamental American, or maybe it's a Texan value, but you're not going to make me do anything I don't want to do.
Yeah. Speaking of not making,
I guess you can. You know what I mean. There's always methods, but
that's a perfect segue into this little snippet. Not making someone do what they don't want to. Special Olympics drops their vaccine mandate after Florida threatens to fine them $27.5 million. Once again, DeSantis standing up for your rights as a human being.
Did you see he got rid of some $35 million Tampa Bay's practice facility because they're taking political stances as a corporation?
Yeah, I also don't understand why any state would pay for any sort of sporting events.
I've always asked that. Like, I get you get the revenue because people come in, like if you host a Super Bowl or whatever, like there's some long-term income-driven events. However,
why should the taxpayers pay for that?
Exactly. Like,
so this comes down to
it's a risk you take as a business owner, right? Did the New Hampshire give you any tax breaks as a business owner? I'm sure you got some.
No.
They didn't pay for you to start your business?
They put the screws to you. There's no tax breaks on anything. If you're a small business owner, they tax you more than they tax Amazon or anybody else. No, they screw small businesses. That's the whole, like, people think, live free or die state, blah, blah, blah. No, it's...
So if you've never owned a business, like I haven't.
You don't get tax breaks.
Right, but can I sit here and tell you as a non-business owner, like I just did, right? Like, so there are people out there who think, like the questions I just asked, they're like, oh, you're privileged. You have your own business. You can pay taxes. But what they don't realize is that they make it harder for you because there is, monopolies that have always been around. It's always been a threat to our society. Go back and look at history. And that happens by getting rid of the small business owners and making it harder for you because they need you to rely on those that they can trust.
Right.
To put the screws to you when they need to put the screws to you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they said over COVID that 40% of the restaurants went out of business, which those aren't going to be any chain restaurants. Those are just small businesses. And, if you haven't woke up yet to see that the government could give a crap about you or your life, it's just literally about tax revenue to them and filling their pockets. Like, I don't know what the hell it's going to take to wake you up. I guess it'll have to physically happen to you before you smarten the hell up and be like, oh, wait, this isn't good. Then more food places had burnt.
More, huh?
More, yeah. It's chicken place burnt with 200,000 chickens or something, which makes it the 23rd food place that's burnt this year. But
well, luckily, there's some people standing by that grow fake meat from cells. You can eat that.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be some good stuff.
Get you some manufactured Soylent Green. Some manufactured food.
Yeah, and then we'll push that, and everyone will be like, "Oh, it's so good for you." And dude, I just seriously wonder sometimes, like you say all the time, like we're living in a bizarre world. Like I don't know. I don't even.
Up is down, left is right, right is left.
And there was this freaking story. So that I meant to talk about this last week, and I don't even know the story. I do have it, but I don't even feel like talking about it. I just want to talk about the headline part of it. It was Supreme Court on the Facebook thing. So Texas passed a law that they couldn't edit your speech, basically, or you could sue them. So you could sue Facebook because they have Section 203 or 230 protection. So you can't sue them, even though, because they're a platform. But difference between a platform and a publisher edits. So if you own the, whatever, the Eagle Times, right, they're a publisher. They can edit whatever because they own that. But as a platform, as a publisher, I can sue them for defamation, whatever. But as a platform, you don't edit content. You just post it. So whatever it is, it's just there. It's just a board, right? Well, obviously, Facebook constantly is editing everything you do. And
tracking, allegedly.
Yes, and so
selling your data,
the Supreme Court just ruled.
data farming you, because that's what they blamed Trump getting elected on, was the data collected off of the backs of Facebook users without them even knowing that they were being tracked and studied. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But the Supreme Court just ruled that Facebook could, they can't sue them, and that the law is unjust in Texas because it violates Facebook's First Amendment.
The Supreme Court?
The Supreme Court.
The U.S. Supreme Court.
The U.S. Supreme Court.
They verified that now free speech, I think we talked about this a little bit on Friday, but they verified now that you can censor people as part of your free speech.
Apparently.
That's the business's free speech to censor you?
The ruling was 5-4. And
I guess John Roberts voted with
says
quote-unquote liberal justices.
Supreme Court temporarily blocks Texas law restricting censorship from social media companies. U.S. Supreme Court issued an unusual vote temporarily blocking a Texas law meant to place restrictions on social media companies censoring their speech of their users. The vote was 5-4 with liberal justices Sonia Sotomayor, Stephen Breyer joining conservatives Roberts, Kavanaugh, and Barrett in the majority. So interesting, isn't it? Isn't it interesting?
Well, I guess you could say it's a good thing, saying that the justices aren't loyal to the parties that nominated them.
True. That's what's supposed to happen.
There's the good news story part of it.
I know, that's the only good news story part of it. But anyways, there's something else I want to do for a while. Oops, wrong button. I put all this crap everywhere so I can have it during the show. But so we're going to do every day like a positive quote or whatever. So we're going to start doing this, and we're going to start to try to make the show not as negative. Obviously, we're going to talk about some of these things because I still want people to wake the hell up and
realize that
I don't think me
we're
and
in
you
the bizarro world
are the ones that will necessarily do it. But anyways, this quote is, never indulge your jealousy, envy, or insecurities. Focus on being the hustler and the well-wisher and the go-getter.
That's a good uplifting quote.
It is.
Need to put that up on the board so I can read that every day as I walk outside.
That's true.
No, I need to hustle because I don't hustle that much in my retirement. I take my time with everything. I don't like setting. I mean, I set goals or whatever, but I don't like anybody telling me what to do. That's the bottom line.
True. Special thanks.
But I need to get over that and be more positive. Just go out and hustle and not worry about.
So these positive quotes of the day will be mostly for Steve, but
no, it's good. Getting some therapy here before I go out and start working on the garden again.
True. Special thanks to Twin State Paving and Noise R Us Fireworks for sponsoring the show. Remember, if you want to get your driveway paved, you got to get on this soon, just because their schedule fills up. And then, obviously, Noise R Us, any time between now and the 4th. But sometimes it's better to get in there sooner than later because, they only have so many fireworks, which they have a lot. And you also can reach out to Shannon, and she can make you up a show. If you're like, hey, I want to spend this amount of money, make me up a show. And because she just knows just every drop of the fireworks stuff like you can't imagine. So right on John Stark Highway at the top of the hill there, heading out of town, right on the left, check in, stop in, see them, say hi, tell them the Tim and Steve show sent you up there, want to get some fireworks, and check it out. I'm excited. We'll have a good fireworks display on the 4th. We'll put a show together again for us. So last year was good.
Well, Rob's family's here, so I'll have to split time between the two. So
They can come over.
I think he has in-laws and he has a big family party. So
Does he have fireworks?
Not to the extent that you do. I think he has snakes and sparklers. I'm just kidding. That's
not fireworks.
Joe Dirt. But no, it's nice because the pond that his house is off of, you can go down there and watch, and all the residents.
So the neighbors are letting fireworks off.
No, Rob does too, but I'm making fun of him just a little bit.
That's cool.
The Joe Dirt, snakes, and sparklers. Anyway, so you can see it all, and it reflects off the pond there because it's a smaller pond. It's a big pond compared to mine, but
right.
It's like, I don't know, 20 or 30 houses around it. But anyway, it's really nice.
Nice. Guarantee it won't be.
Hey, I'm just managing expectations between you and Rob. We'll have to split some time somehow.
It won't be nearly as much fun as my place. You know that.
I might get in less trouble, though, because...
That's true. Well, if your wife goes to his and you come to ours.
Yeah, but I would probably do it the other way around. Just, family, man. Come on.
It's still family.
No, I know, but what time are you doing your fireworks show? Let's plan this out right here on the air.
When it's dark?
That could be 9:30, 10 o'clock.
I don't know.
That time in the summer, because it doesn't get dark now until like 8:30.
Probably, yeah, something like that.
After winter, when it gets dark at 4 p.m.
Yeah, that's the fun time right there. All right, so you'll have to figure that out.
I know, I'm already thinking about it, because I know it's going to come up. About a month away. I got 30 days to figure out.
Yeah, days of 6, less than a month.
Less than a month.
All right, guys, have a great day, and get out there, enjoy this beautiful weather.
Softball game tomorrow night, 7 p.m.
Yeah, so if you're able to show up for that, that would be awesome.
That's drive down to Plymouth State.
Up to Plymouth State, over and up a little bit. Yeah, it's not bad. I think it's like an hour. It's not too bad. It's a nice little ride, and under the lights, so that'd be pretty cool. It'd be a late night, but the more support, the better, because I'm sure this other school will have a lot of people there as well. I think they're a private school too, so let's go beat the rich kids. All right, guys, have a great day. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the morning.